Okay, so first up will be my car. It's a Porsche 908 NSR. I'll go into the details after I run these three cars, just what's under the hood of these cars. This car finished 6th, just one position out of the finals. It's a decent car. You see a little bit of blistering on the outside third edge of the tires. These were the new zero graining tires.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
It's a little bit looser before he left town to go to the race. Pushing it there. Okay, 6.628 seconds is the fastest time. Definitely the car's not quite as hooked up as when I left here. It feels a little slower too, speed-wise. Let's give Todd's a car a try now. So the next car we're going to try is Todd Ulery's Car 7 Porsche 908 NSR from Edmonton. This car finished 4th overall. He made it to the finals, and he only had his teammate Ian Douglas, Leon Luke from Edmonton, and Darius Pulowski from Kelowna here beat him. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Yeah, it's very hooked up. Very nice car. It's hooked up, smooth, easy to drive. Nice car. Got a 6.577. Awesome car, Todd. Yeah, it's hooked right up. You can attack the corners with confidence. Up next, got a special treat for you. It's another car from Todd Ulery's. It's a Porsche 908 with a 3D chassis. This was his, he's won multiple races in Electric Dreams with this car. It's broken lap records too, from my understanding. Beautiful car. Same thing, Darkside West livery. Let's see what it does. I did try this car a little bit earlier, just to make sure it worked after shipping. It works. The guide's a little deep, so we're going to be dragging the guide a little bit, but it's still going to be very quick. I don't want to touch the guide. This is his special car, so let's give it a try.
5, 4.
Like I said, we'll check out these cars on the bench afterwards. Very hooked up. The speed acceleration is fantastic. Look at that, 6.434 seconds, and that's with a dragging guide. So definitely the front wheels are not touching. Yeah, they're not touching. So it's running as a tripod right now. So he doesn't have the extra support on the corners of the front wheels balancing the car. So very impressive running as a tripod and dragging a guide. 6.434 seconds. Amazing. So fast. Now let's take a look at these cars on the bench. So the first car we're going to open up is my car. This car finished 6th in Edmonton. Actually, let's just take a look at this. I went with, like I always do, I got full tape covering the pod. There is a little bit of movement, just a hair of up-down movement. There's no side-to-side, up and down. I think I got maybe half a turn on each of these screws. Same with the front pod screw. On the block, car's sitting nice and flush, nice and flat. The guide is pretty much almost bottomed out, along with the front wheels touching the block. So I would say both the guide and the wheels are supporting the car. There's about 1 millimeter of clearance throughout the rest of the car. I went with the wide. There was a choice to shave down the 12 mil tire that were allowed. The NSR, what model number? It's a 5210Z. It's a 0 graining tire that we were allowed to use on these cars. So I went with the full width because the 8 mil wide hubs that come standard with these cars was the only hubs that were allowed, the 8 mil wide. So I used a lot of crazy glue just to reinforce the outside edge of the tire, since there was no hub for support. I did that front, on the side, and, well, both sides actually. Quite a bit of float, I should add, about 1 mil of float. I used the really wide head screws so that there was no side-to-side movement of the body. There's no side-to-side movement, just up and down and rocking motion. These slotted screws sometimes can be tricky to get a hold of. Okay. So we were allowed to shave the magnet holders on the pod. So I shaved mine down, put a flat piece of really thin lead on the middle of the pod. Got a couple really small thin ones stacked on top of each other in front of the motor. A couple thin ones on the sides of the chassis behind the rear tires, or sorry, front tires. And I did go with a thin piece of lead underneath the rear axle. Gearing, 13 tooth pinion and 31 tooth spur gear, the red gear. You can see the tires were nice and smooth, probably 2/3 of the tire nice and smooth. And then this side here has got a little bit of blistering, you can see, which will account for my loss of traction that I'm noticing. You can see that blistering on the outside edge. Nice and smooth here in the 2/3. But on the hard cornering where the outside edge of the tires taking all the load, there's a lot of blistering. Pod movement. See right here, there is a little bit of pod movement, just a hair. I'd call that not even half a mil, maybe a quarter of a mil. Can't even get the edge of my fine blade screwdriver in there. And because of the full tape, it's only moving up and down. There's no side-to-side movement, nothing. Front wheels roll freely. Guide springing. I see it's popped out here. I should have glued that down. Sitting nice and flat. Guide is almost bottomed out. A little bit of a gap. Yeah, that's that car. Let's look at Todd's car now. Okay, this is his 4th place car. Beautiful Darkside West livery. Feels like a professional job. You can tell that he wet sanded it between coats. It's just perfect. Very nice. He's got a single piece of tape right in the middle of the pod. And let me just hold the chassis tight. Yeah. There's movement, back and forth movement in the back half of the pod. And you can see the front of the pod is moving too. So it's almost like this tape is acting as a swivel point, the way it's set up right now. So the whole pod's moving back and forth, but it's staying in the same spot due to this tape. Other thing I want to note, small head screws, which allows the play. And same with the body, small head screws. So there's a lot of float. There's also some back and forth. There's some back and forth movement due to the smaller head screws. Lots of float. You can see tons of float. Front tires, you can see there's no NSR logo on the side. He's shaved it right down, flush with the edge of the hub, on the front hub, nice and square. And tires are Got some rounding. So he's got full support of the hub on the tires, front tires. Nice and square edge here, flush with the hub, with a smooth rounded shoulder. Tires are almost right up to the edge of the body. Yeah, you can see all the movement on the body float back and forth, side to side, up and down. And same with the pod. You can see the movement back and forth. Just enough. One thing I noticed earlier, as you can't tell on here, I'm going to take this body off now. Oh, I should point out the front tires. Looks like Todd's went with some sort of black epoxy type of glue. Very shiny. Looks like an epoxy type of glue. I might be wrong, but lots of support. Like I said, we used these wide 12 mil hubs or tires on these 8 mil hubs, so we had to do some support. And Todd's gone with some sort of epoxy type of glue, it looks like here, to give it a lot of support. Yeah, he did a good job layering in that glue, it looks like. Tons of support there. I went with a CA glue, and I can see that there is some there's some cracking. There's some cracking with CA glue, which would not help, that's for sure. This glue that Todd used, it's very firm. It was the right glue to use. Okay. One thing I noticed is the guide. It's there's definitely some space between the base of the guide and the block. So definitely the full load of the car is on the front tires. The guide appears to be a good mil off the block. So definitely full support of the front tires on the track. Yeah, you can't even move the tires. Todd kept the magnet holders in place, and he used the single weight on the back position. Pretty smart to do that. You can always use this car and pod in a different race where you're not allowed to shave these, so that was very smart. He's got a couple really thin pieces of lead along each side here that he's painted black, or he's covered with some sort of black tape. Very thin pieces of lead. A little bit of weight there, and that's it for his weight. Let me weigh this car just to see how much it weighs. 76 grams. And my car weighed, it's pretty close to that, 75 grams. So Todd's using a 13 tooth. Using a 13 tooth pinion with a, I believe that purple is a 33 tooth spur gear. 1333. You got a little bit of movement, not much. And the pod, just a hair, just a hair of moving up and down. Maybe a sheet of paper would fit in there. So he's got a little more movement, or a little less movement than my car. Yeah, you can see there's just a little bit of movement. Motor screwed in. Guide center's nice. Front wheels roll nice. Very nice car. But yeah, I definitely need to look into this glue that he used, this epoxy, to glue the tires to the hub. That's very impressive. Nice and solid versus using regular CA glue. You can see the edge of the hub right here. So he filled it all in with this epoxy. And a very nice car. Very fast. A very generous offer for you to put it up for auction. Okay, let's try this Speedster here. Let's open it up. Same thing. Beautiful. Like I said, it was running as a tripod. The guide's a little too deep for my 3/8 inch wood track. So even dragging the guide and running as a tripod, he was still in the low 6.4s, which is very fast. Not many cars have gotten that fast or faster. So he's in there with elite company. Pretty sure if this guide was shaved down or replaced, we'd definitely be hitting the 6.3s, maybe even faster. One car's hit the 6.2s on this track, and that's Peter Cressy's car out of Czechia. PK's leading the GT3 Proxy right now. So this car here, beautiful paint, kind of an open class car from what I see. He's got sideways hubs in the back, 15 mil sideways hubs. 15 mil, those are slotting plus hubs, I think. I think those are slotting plus Urano hubs. .3D chassis. Got a little bit of weight underneath the chassis. Just past the halfway mark. Very smooth tires. I can't remember. I'll add some notes to the video after some of the details as to the make of the 3D chassis that I got from Shapeways. Very low profile tires, very low profile. These tires in the back look like they're only maybe, they look like they might only even be 18 mil. I don't know. Pretty small. He's got these donuts for washers for the pod suspension. And just like his side to side movement. And it looks like these outside screws here, the donuts are shaved a little more, allowing the pod to move slightly sideways. Up-down movement. Yeah, you can see there's suspension too on the inside. He's got foam washers. Foam washers in there. Very low car, maybe half mil. And same thing with this guide here. Full weight of the tires are on the block. The guide is up just a little bit. So the front tires have full weight. Okay, let's take a look at this. It's got a big piece of lead right in front of the motor on the pod. Car is very low, like I said. Guide is elevated a little bit, so it's full load on the front tires. Suspension, we got looks like a foam washer, and then the same type of O-rings are here. They look the same. So you have a little bit of up-down movement on the suspension. Yeah. As you put a little more force on it, it does go up and then spring back into position. See the foam washers here too. Functioning. Got a foam washer, it looks like underneath the front too. But what's impressive is this side-to-side movement. I think as Todd explained, it almost slingshots his car out of the corner. You can see that. Looks like he's using on the back axle some support for the rear bushing supports. He's got a piece of tubing here. Gearing. That's a big gear. That looks like it's at least 14 tooth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to be at least 14, maybe 15 tooth with an angle winder gear. Nice quiet mesh. Motor's glued in, it looks like. That motor's glued in. Independent wheels. Yeah, these cars that we just ran in Edmonton, they were very strict. It was all stock hub sizes and everything, so we couldn't do any alterations such as we're seeing here. Yeah, very nice car. Wish it wasn't running like a tripod here, so I could maximize the speed out of it. But that's definitely very interesting to the side-to-side play. Okay, that's it. Thanks, Todd, for sending your cars out. Thanks, Ian, Dennis, Todd, California guys, for coming out and whooping our butts. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.